Today's flow is 60 minutes of Yin. Now, if you've never done Yin before, it's a really slow yoga practice, so I would encourage a warm jumper, some fluffy socks, and maybe like jogging bottoms, something like a few little layers. We're going to hold our postures for about 4 to 5 minutes, but just know that if that gets a little bit too long for you, you can always come out and get yourself into a rebound. It's almost like a shavasana, a little bit quicker. Take it as slowly as you need to. Just know that there's no right or wrong in Yin. The only wrong is that I don't want you to be in pain, and it's not kind of a forced practice. It's a very slow, very calm practice to encourage us to just rest and relax and recover and restore. So for props, you will need today yourself a bolster, a cushion or a pillow, 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, books are really good to use instead, and also a blanket. So when you have all of those things, jump onto your mat and let's take it away. So we're going to get started today in a seated position. So grab your cushion or your bricks, whatever your preference is. Mine is always going to be a comfy cushion. And we're just going to start in our Sukhasana, our easy pose. So arrive there. You can always pause the video at any point. Know that you don't need to follow along as and when. Good. And then once you're nice and comfy, just place your hands onto your knees, bow your chin towards your chest, and just take a couple of moments here just to roll the shoulders, roll your head and your neck from side to side. Good. And then find somewhere just to kind of settle in the middle. Take a big sigh of relief. Good, and allow yourself to land in this space. Good, so start to slow down your breathing, not necessarily changing it just yet, but just noticing the space, noticing the breath as it arrives and exits your body. And then from noticing your breath, can you just notice all the muscles that make up your face, around the mouth and the lips, around the nose, the cheeks, the soft skin around your eyes, eyebrows, forehead. And can you just encourage a sense of release? Can you take away the need to put your face in a certain shape and just allow it to be natural, even if that means it kind of feels really soft and it feels a little bit strange. But just dropping away any need to keep muscular tension within your face. And from the face, start to draw your attention down through the throat, relaxing the tongue, down through the shoulders, relaxing the shoulder heads. Sending that attention all the way down through the arms, elbows, forearms, hands and fingers. Really notice your fingers. Does it feel like you're gripping your knees, or can you just give them a little wiggle and soften the hands? And then from the hands, bringing that attention back up to the shoulders, down to the rib cage, and down to your belly, and start to invite a deeper breath into the belly. Feeling that rise and fall of the waistband if you've got leggings on. Almost breathing into that space. So soon if you can really kind of rise the front body and release. You might even place a hand just onto your belly to feel that movement. Know that if your feet are going numb, you can always move the legs if you need to. But try and make that movement as kind of small as you possibly can, so making as fewer movements as possible. Then keep drifting that attention downwards to the sit bones. Can you relax the muscles that surround your seat? Down through the thighs, knees, shins, calves, ankles, feet and toes. Rooting yourself down, finding your space, and really arriving into our practice today. Knowing that the next hour of your time is completely dedicated to you. There's going to be distractions that come up, whether that's people or things around you. There's going to be distractions that come into the mind, into the body, like thoughts or scratches. But can you allow yourself this time? In our 8 limbs of yoga practice, we first start with the ethics and the morals that we show towards ourselves and towards others. And Ahimsa is the first yama, the yama and niyamas. The first yama, Ahimsa. So today, our chill flow, we're practicing pure love towards ourselves. Notice if the breath has become stagnant. Can you draw in a deeper sense? Deeper, kind of broadening breath. Take 3 more breaths here, please. On your 4th inhale, just bow your chin ever so lightly down towards the chest. Have a little roll of the head, the neck from side to side, keeping the eyes closed just for now. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Good, and when you're ready, blink your eyes open. We're going to come to our first posture. This is going to be our thread the needle pose. So just moving your cushion or your brick off to one side, you're likely to need that a little bit later. Starting in an all fours position, shoulders over the wrists, hips on top of the knees. Just take a few little opening cat-cows, inhaling, dropping the belly. And exhaling, curl into the back body, drop chin to chest. Inhale to drop the belly, arch the spine, lift up and rise the chest. And the exhale, complete opposite. Last one here, inhale to open. And exhale to round. Now these are starting from a neutral spine. Inhale and breathe your right arm high to sky. As you exhale, we're going to thread that right arm underneath the body, behind the left arm, and drop all the way down towards the shoulder and that right ear or right side of the head landing onto the ground. If it feels a little bit too far away, you can also take a brick or your book underneath your side of your head. But we want to feel, or our target area here is all along the outside edge of this right arm and shoulder area. So take these first kind of few moments to get settled, to move anything, to tuck your t-shirt in, I don't know. And then once you've arrived into that space of comfort in this left arm, we're going to relax kind of the elbow alongside the rib cage. I'm just going to start to close down your eyes. And just allow the posture to unfold within the body. Yeah, don't lose touch with that sense of breath that you found. See if you can keep breathing down deep into the belly and into the lower back. So our practice of Yin Yoga is a very subtle practice. We're not looking to push the body into extreme poses or extreme sensation. If anything, we want to do a little bit less. As we let kind of the muscles and the soft tissue relax, we're starting to open into the deeper layers of the body, so our tendons and our ligaments, all that stuff that surrounds the kind of joints. And when we're working with these deep, soft tissues, we want to make sure that we're doing it with complete ease, rather than shoving or forcing our body into certain shapes. If you have sensitivity in your knees, you might also put your blanket underneath. I forgot to say that. And with every exhale, just noticing the chest and this right hand almost just kind of sinking downwards. And if at any point during this practice you start to notice a sense of panic coming over the body, just know that you're safe. You might just need to settle your way out of the posture a tiny little bit by sliding the right hand closer towards you, or maybe just firmly pressing that left hand down to the ground. Just seeing if we can keep a certain element of weightiness into our body throughout this whole practice today. Good. Now if you're fine exactly where we are, please feel free to stay. If we're going a little bit further, you're just going to lift your opposite left arm up. So you've got this right shoulder down. Bend the left elbow and see if you can thread the arm behind your hip. You might land the back of the hand to your lower back. Or maybe slide your fingertips just in towards that right top of the thigh. And it can be a little bit confusing when we're upside down and back to front, so just take your time to navigate this space. Good, coming into our final minute in this posture. Making sure that no tension has crept into the eyebrows or the jaw. And that we've not fallen into the need or the desire to make a certain shape with our body. That we're flowing with that pure love, that kindness, that Ahimsa practice. We're just settling into a space that serves and suits our body today. Keeping the breathing soft. Good. Take 3 long deep breaths. And on your 4th inhale, if the hand is lifted, just place that left hand back down to the ground. Slide the right arm up and over. We're going to take our rebound, so this can be on your belly or on your back, yogi's choice. A rebound is almost like a very quick shavasana, just allowing ourselves to release the pose that we've just undertaken. Good, so on arrival into that space, just give your hips a little wiggle, and instead of tuning out, so instead of having that shavasana feeling here, I'd like you to tune in. to almost become a witness to the happenings of your body. So just notice, as we've released this posture, what do you feel first? Me personally, I'm just noticing a slight lightness into the side of my head and my neck. My knees feel quite lovely. And see if you can use descriptive words rather than needing to say, anything negative about your body and its kind of feeling. So do you notice any tingling, a warm fuzziness? Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? And even if you do this class maybe 2 or 3 times, it may change each time you do it. So stepping into this present moment of watching what's going on now rather than preempting or predicting what we might feel. And if your mind starts to wander off into a different direction of thought, just know that's completely natural. But when you notice that drifting, can you pull yourself back into this space by just recognizing once again the breath, where it's sitting, how does it feel? And using the breath as our guide into this moment. Take an inhale, prepare to move. We're going to take our thread the needle on the second side. So if you're on your back, hug your knees in toward your chest. Have a little rock up and down the spine if you're with me. Hands sliding underneath the shoulders. Oh, my elbows clicked. And find your way into a tabletop. Take a few moments, sit through your cat-cow once again, moving with the breath. Inhale, drop the belly, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the heart space. Exhale, curl and round away. Maybe we make it a little bit bigger in this space this time. Inhaling to open. And exhale to curl. Inhaling, expanding. And exhaling, curling in. Good, neutral tabletop. Left side, inhale the left arm high. Thread the left arm under. Remember, the props are our friends, so instead of a brick, it might even be the blanket underneath your head. Make it a little bit softer. And then just find a comfy space for that right hand. It might be different to the other side. Yeah, take your first 5 or 6 moments to get comfy. Remember that no 2 sides of the body are going to feel exactly the same. Yes. And we'll be here once again for 3 or 4 minutes. And the beautiful thing about this practice is there's nothing really to do as soon as we pop our bodies into the shapes. Just see if you can really let yourself release into it. Trying to lose as much tension as we can with every exhale. took it there on the first side. Just start to inhale and breathe that right arm high. Spin the hand, bend the elbow. And that right hand can find the lower back. Or just sliding it a little bit further round and see if you can reach your fingertips to that inner left top thigh. This is just going to encourage a slight little bit more opening into the front of the chest, so it's definitely not required. And it means that we find a little bit more yang in our yin practice. But if it feels good to have a stretch through the right front arm and inside shoulder, feel free to take it. If it comes at the detriment or the price of your breathing and your release, then it's not worth it. Take 3 long deep breaths and prepare to move. Releasing that right hand down. Press the floor away, come all the way up to the tabletop. And then once again, find your way into rebound, onto belly or onto back. My preference at this time would be to be on your belly, because we're going to take it into our Sphinx pose following this. And again, instead of using this time to switch off, can you switch in? Can you notice those sensations once again? And perhaps on this left side, it feels different to the right. And if it does, are we making comparisons? Are we saying that one side of our body feels better than the other, when really it is exactly what it is? There's no good and bad. And perhaps we notice one side feels a little bit tighter or a little bit looser than the other, and that's just due to the anatomy of our body, the different length of bones and muscles and the different actions that we undertake, writing, eating. So instead of labelling yourself good and bad, can you step away from that mindset and use some other words to describe your body? Can you be kinder? Can you be softer towards yourself? Knowing that the love that we show ourselves is the love that then we can share to others. So we first need to find this sense of grounding and this sense of peace and kindness in our minds, in our thoughts, before we can project that out to others. Take 3 long deep breaths and prepare to move. If you're on your back, hug your knees in. If you're on your belly, just start to find your way up to your elbows. So the next posture we're going to take is our Sphinx pose. So it predominantly looks like this. Elbows stacking underneath your shoulders, about shoulder width apart. I like to take the back of the hands to the ground, palms high. Just encourage the shoulder blades down the back of the rib cage and find a lifting up in towards your neck without lifting the chin, just finding that long spine. Now the target area here is just in our lower back, kind of where your lumbar spine is. So this is the very almost like active variation of this posture. Depending on what time of the day it is, this might be okay to hold for 3 or 4 minutes. If you're watching this in the evening, what I'm going to suggest is you grab yourself one of your blocks, you grab yourself your bolster or your pillow, and you're going to place this pillow just underneath your belly. You might need to take it onto your pubic bone and under your hip bones as well, almost just to support the rib cage and to support your elbows here. With the brick, you're going to grab a hold with your hands, have it on a diagonal, almost like, what's that, like 45 degrees, and then place your forehead onto that brick or the block or your book. Take your elbows a little bit wider and then release the hands. Now if for some reason you can't be on your belly today, don't worry, I'm going to give you another variation. So you're going to grab either a bolster, 2 cushions, or blocks in your cushions. You're going to make a T shape, so 1 brick horizontal, 1 brick vertical. You're then going to place that just towards the top back of the mat, and then place your pillow on top of that space, or your cushion. If you have 2 or 3 cushions, maybe you're going to stack that up as well. From that space, you're going to place it just kind of towards the top thoracic area of your spine, so that's placed between the shoulder blades. Take the arms wide and relax. So this is like almost a very, very chilled variation of our Sphinx pose. We're still getting this broadening and opening along the chest, but we don't need to worry about laying flat on our bellies, so I'd take this if you're pregnant, something like that. Good. So again, take the first kind of 5 or 6 moments, or even if you're not pregnant, maybe if you like the look of that one a little bit more, feel free to take it, why not? Treat yourself. Good. And then once you find a space that's comfortable, we're going to be there for about 4 minutes. If you've been there already, just enjoy the calm stillness of simply being. I'm going to let you know when it's time to come out of this shape. Yeah, now if you are taking the more active variation and you're lifting your head and your neck up, try to soften your jaw and your facial features as much as you can. If you're on your brick, same here, just roll the forehead from side to side ever so softly. And let the brick do 100% of the work for you. If you're on your back, take up space, feet a little bit wider, hands a little bit wider, and allow the support underneath your back to hold you in that shape. Now we'll just bring some slight compression into the lower back. It will help you to gain just a little bit more space in the vertebrae. So almost by bringing ourselves into this slight back bend, what we're doing is just encouraging almost your body to ask for a response. So if there's any tension or any stiffness or soreness in the lower back, by just compressing the discs ever so slightly, it's like a little signal to your body, like, okay, there's some inflammation here. There's something going on down here. Can you send all the nutrients that you need, that I need, to just release that? So the reason that our bodies feel stiff and tired and sore is because we don't move them. We just need to encourage that slight little bit of action for your body to then send help. And by holding ourselves in stillness, we know that we're completely supported. There's no need to kind of try too hard our restorative practice. We just want to hold ourselves in a shape and allow the yoga to do the work. As the mind starts to wander, continuously draw yourself back into this space. What do you notice? What can you feel? Where could you relax a little bit further? We do so much all of the time. We're always looking to do more. Can you do less? Can you treat yourself to less? If you're on your back, please feel free to stay there. If you're on your belly and wish to come up to a seal pose, you're just going to move your head from the brick or from your block, however you wish to call it. Place the palms, the hands down, and just start to straighten up the arms. Now again, you might feel this into your hips. I definitely do. I'm just going to move my prop a little bit further down. As long as it doesn't compromise your breathing, perhaps you walk the hands back ever so slightly. But again, keep that sense of lift through the back of the neck, rolling down of the shoulders, and we're just here for 30 more seconds. Again, building on that slight sensation through the lower back, without pressure, without force. Good, take an inhale, prepare to move. And as you're ready, lowering down the forearms, moving any bricks and props over to one side. Again, our rebound onto the belly, onto the back, whichever serves you the most today. Get yourself nice and comfy. Just breathe. Take an inhale, prepare to move. If you're on your belly, slide the hands underneath the shoulders. If you're on your back, hug your knees in, find your way up to a tabletop. Good, so we're going to come onto our bottoms now, coming into our caterpillar pose. In this pose, our target area is all the way down the back of the legs, and maybe even into the lower back. So you're going to sit up nice and tall, legs out straight. If you notice a slight rounding into the back already, or it feels quite tight into the knees, there's lots of things we can do. So you're either going to place your cushion underneath your bottom, if you've got kind of a rounding into the back. If you can sit up quite straight, but your knees are a little bit bent, you're going to place your cushion underneath the knees. And that's just going to help support your hamstrings. If you've got a couple of pillows, get yourself nice and cozy in this space. This one also can be a little bit sore into the ankle bones. So I like to place my blanket underneath my feet. And that's just going to support kind of the bones of the foot. If you've got bony feet, then you might be able to sympathise there. And what you're going to do, like a little rag doll, is just bow your chin down towards your chest and just slowly start to reach the arms forwards. Now our target area is down the back of the legs, but you might feel this elsewhere because of the soft tissue, the fascia that is kind of intertwined in our body. It's almost like a cobweb-like material. And it runs from the crown of the head all the way to the top tips of your toes. So if you're doing this stretch and you've got a little bit of tension in your neck, you might be able to feel it there. You might feel it in your left piggy, you might feel it in your right piggy. There's really kind of no right or wrong when it comes to yin. We just want to make sure that we're not kind of encouraging or working too deeply into our body so that it's not safe. Another quite nice thing to do is to bring that cushion underneath the belly and rib cage, almost like a little pillow underneath to support you there. If you are pregnant or you can't have your belly kind of or you don't like your belly too compressed, take the legs a little bit wider so you've got space for your bump or space for you to just kind of fold into. Yeah, there's always lots of different options. So take time, find what works, and then settle in. Relaxing the chin. I like the back of the hands down, palms high, to encourage that sense of openness and kindness towards ourselves. And just release, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out of this space once again. With every exhale, just letting your neck get that little bit heavier. Releasing the face shapes. And just curling inwards. Letting go of these needs or desires to look or be a certain way. To just be exactly as you are today. To allow your body to feel its feelings and for your mind to support that. So instead of working against your body and the things that it can't do, you're working with your body to encourage, to soften, and to work in tandem with your mind and its goals. So not battling against ourselves, we're working with ourselves. the mind starts to wander, or you start to get distracted, come back to the breath. Come back to the intention behind our practice today. Take 3 long deep breaths, prepare to move. And with as few movements as possible, roll your way into Shavasana, not Shavasana, into your rebound. Again, if you're starting to get cold, grab your blanket, place it over the top. And just take the next few moments to let that drop in. Instead of switching off like we do in our postures, switch on. Where did you feel that? I felt that all the way down through the left side of my neck for some reason. Wasn't my legs, wasn't my lower back. Into the neck, so clearly there's something going on there that needs a bit of my attention. That's a beautiful thing about our yoga practice and our Yin Yoga. So we have this opportunity to just switch off and tune in. So often we're distracted by external factors, both in, the things that we want to achieve or our responsibilities, but also from other people, not in a bad way. But with the rise of our use of social media, we're always making comparisons to others when really we don't need to compare anything. We just need to show up exactly as we are and recognize maybe the things or the warning signs that our body is giving us when we need to just slow down. Take 3 long deep breaths, prepare to move. From your belly, you're just going to roll your way onto your back. We're going to come into our twisted roots pose. For this one, my lovelies, you're just going to move any blankets out the way. You can have it back in a bit, don't worry. And then you're going to grab yourself your pillow and place it just towards the left side of you. Cross your right leg over the top of the left leg. We're going to scooch our bottoms just slightly over towards the right hand side. Bring that cushion all the way in towards the left hip, and then roll your knees over towards the left. The arms are going to go wide to a T, Or if you don't have the space today, you can always take the arms back like a little cactus, or maybe just hands onto the front body. If for some reason you can't twist, you're going to extend your right leg, place that left sole of the foot to the inside edge of the right thigh, and again pillow underneath almost that left hip and come into a hip opening onto your left side. Again, hands onto the belly or hands out to the side. First 5 or 6 moments to settle in. And unlike kind of our more active practice, there's nothing, as always, to kind of push into. So even the arms, even the shoulder might rise. You might even find it comfy placing a cushion behind your shoulder. See if you can let legs, head, arms just drop down with gravity. Closing down the eyes. And just simply being in your space. The target area of this posture is all the way along the right edge of the hip and into the lower back. Remember, if you feel it anywhere else, that's completely valid. And you should be able to breathe gently in and out through all of the poses. But especially when we're twisting, it can feel like a bit of a compression into the front body and belly, rib cage. So if you've gone too far, maybe just drawing another pillow underneath the knees. Or if you feel like physically you could take it a little bit further, you might even just move your cushion or your pillow or your bolster over to one side. Take an inhale, prepare to move. And your exhale rolls you back into the center. Just move any props out of the way, extend the legs. Or if you'd prefer, you can always keep the soles of the feet grounded and drop the knees in towards each other. And that's just going to allow any of our hip opening to just soften. Hands to the belly or hands either side. Tune inwards. What do we notice? For me, it feels like somebody's got a warm hand just underneath that right hip. just feels supported. It feels stretched. My breath feels a little bit easier without the twist into the belly. There's a sense of heaviness over the shoulders and over the neck. You might have similarities. It might be completely unique, even within the space of your own practice. Never comparing ourselves, but just simply noticing and paying attention to what's going on. Our practice of svadhyaya, self-study, and inquiry, to always be inquiring, to learn, to acknowledge. Good, as you're ready, you're going to take that over to the other side. First of all, moving the cushion, and then moving your hips into center, and then over towards that left knee crossing over the top of the right, and make sure we got the thighs squeezing together. Drop the knees, or again that left leg straight, right sole of the foot into the left thigh. And just create a shape that works for you today. Give yourself an opportunity to release into the pose. It always feels a little bit cold when we first enter. And if you notice yourself striving and looking to do more or feel more, what's the reason? What's the cause behind that? There's no one to impress right now. But there's everything to gain in allowing yourself that opportunity to be softer. Is there tension that you can release into the thighs, into the shoulders and arms? Maybe even the lips, the eyelids. Take an inhale, prepare to move. And coming back through center, preparing for our final relaxation. So for this, almost like our Shavasana, I want you to get real comfy. So I like to place a cushion underneath the knees, a blanket on the body. If you have an eye pillow, you can always place that on the eyes. Take a few moments in this space. Let something drop. And just let yourself breathe. let yourself be. And I'll let you know when it's time to come out of this space. Take a deep inhale. Clearing sigh. Now you can stay in this shape for longer if you wish, or just start to sway your head from side to side, licking the lips, and being really calm and kind towards yourself. Wiggling fingers and toes, and as we feel ready, taking a humongous full body stretch. Keeping the eyes closed, coming up to a seated position, rolling over to the side or rolling simply straight up. Placing the left hand onto the heart center, the right hand on top, and bowing your chin forwards. Taking this opportunity to remember that we can always be just one breath kinder towards ourselves. Practicing always with a sense of Ahimsa, pure love, non-violence towards our own body. Bringing the palms to touch, lift your thumbs just in between your eyebrows. Bowing forwards, gratitude and appreciation as always for the hard work, effort and devotion that you show to your practice. Jai. Thank you so much, lovely yogi, for joining. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.